Before we get into the tips, let's make sure that we understand Horizon's abilities. If you are already familiar with her abilities, you can just use the time codes to skip this part. So Horizon's passive is called Spacewalk. This allows her to have increased air control and reduce fall impacts. Basically what this means is that she has a faster air strafe speed, which is why so many movement legends out there, like Taxi 2G, etc., like to use her because her air strafe speed is higher, which also means very, very sharp tap strafes. And then the reduced fall impacts means that no matter how high, she will not get the stun effect when falling. Horizon's tactical is called Gravity Lift. This reverses the flow of gravity, lifting players upward and boosting them outward when they exit. So this is an active ability. You throw your Gravity Lift down, you can take it up, it will move you up at a certain speed, and then you can stay in the lift for a short amount of time before it will give you a push out of the lift. Horizon's ultimate is Black Hole. Affectionately calling her device Newt, she throws out the device and it creates a black hole which pulls players towards the center. With that said, let's get into the tips. Use your lift on enemies in cover to knock them out. This can be very, very useful when they're up against circle. You can use her lift to block doors or as visual cover while healing. You can actually defeat the lift blocking the door by simply taking the lift. When it kicks you out, if you re-enter it, you'll be able to walk right through it. Use her ultimate to counter Seer's ult. It will actually make it fly away. This may be a glitch, but I don't think they're going to fix it. Use your ultimate for added visual and audio clutter and as an obstacle while you revive, heal, or do whatever else. Win more door fights by chucking your ultimate either at the door or at a wall next to the door. It's both going to rip off the door and it's going to suck in the enemy. If you're having trouble tracking your enemies while ADS going up the lip, track them with hipfire first. Once you acquire your target, then ADS. This is really important for controller players. High damage per mag weapons are particularly good on Horizon because you're gonna miss some shots in your lift. The R301 is also a very good gun for the lift because it has almost zero recoil, making an absolute beam while you're going up and you don't have to think about recoil. Whenever you're dropping from the dropship, your passive will actually allow you to slide through doors as long as you interact with them to get to loot first. Make sure to be moving in her lift, otherwise you're just a free target. If you ult a Mirage who has nearby clones, only the real Mirage can try to escape. Using your lift to get down teammates out of a fight for a thrifty revive can be life-saving. Ult the side of Gibby's dome to make the dome unplayable, and as a bonus, they'll have to leave the dome to destroy it. Use your lift to escape AoE abilities like Gibby's ultimate, Bangalore's ultimate, and Caustic's ultimate. You can take your lift up to 3 times, but you're typically only ever going to get a chance to take it twice. If you're having trouble re-entering your lift without touching the ground, as soon as you're exiting the lift with the boost, pull back on the analog stick or press S on your keyboard to put a backwards input while you're air strafing back into the lift. You know if your lift is about to expire because it will sound like this. However, you can quote-unquote hold the lift open simply by going into the lift or a teammate or enemy going into the lift. This will keep it open even past its expiry time. Don't forget that you can actually sit at the top of the lift for a few seconds and strafe there, so you don't have to immediately exit. Falling is faster than dropping. Hit the side of an object to force a fall and your passive will negate the fall. This will often allow you to get to loot faster. On Broken Moon, don't forget to use her lift to get you and your teammates to the zips anytime. Thermites are particularly effective with Horizon's ult because if placed well, they will do no damage to the ultimate. Throw thermites so that when you ult your enemies, they're going to be dragged through it. Then they'll have to either decide to walk back through the thermite taking more damage or stay in the ultimate. Don't forget that when you're coming out of the lift, you're going to have bloom on certain kinds of weapons. But other kinds of weapons, you will not have bloom. And these include single shot weapons like the PK, Wingman, 30-30, G7, etc. Rather than trying to mash buttons to first use your lift, get your ultimate out, use your ultimate, get your grenades out, use your grenades, instead you can make it much simpler. Simply get your grenades out first. Whenever you throw your ultimate, your grenades will automatically be re-equipped. This is going to save you a lot of button mashing, especially if you're having to press stuff on the D-pad because you play controller. This is an obvious tip, but something that I see as a habit of many players. You do not have to use your lift to be able to use your ultimate. They can be used separately, together, it doesn't matter, but you don't have to use your lift every time you want to use your ultimate. It's just a common mistake I see a lot, and I wanted to reiterate it here. Take your lift with your teammates. Now enemies have multiple targets to think about, and you have extra firepower. You generally want to avoid sniper rifles because they do not synergize well with her lift and aggressive playstyle, but there are situations for everything. The boost or kick that you get at the top of the Horizon ult can actually be stored by attaching to a zip line. So for example, on a balloon, you will actually store that kick for whenever you land. This will bamboozle your enemies since you will land without a stun. You can also even change directions just by looking. Use your lift in front of the gravity cannon to cancel anyone trying to take that cannon. You can use your lift right underneath the armory and it will prevent people from being able to take the jump pad. You can use Horizon's passive for absolutely massive rotates to all sorts of places, including estates, Hammond Labs, and other places on Stormpoint. Don't forget that vision around the ultimate is warped, so if it seems like you're missing your shots, it's because the ultimate is actually warping the image that you are perceiving. A good tip is if you're in a safe spot, throw your lift to get back in the fight while taking your bat, but wait to get on the lift until almost the end of your bat. They're going to get tired of waiting for you to come up the lift and think that you might not come up at all. Caustic Gas does not do damage to Horizon's ultimate, so use this nasty combo if you happen to have a Caustic on your team. I hope these tips were helpful. I guarantee you didn't know some of them. Again, I am Revan the Nub. Hit that like and subscribe button, and I hope to see you again.